Statesman Nation. We're here with Todd Hafner as we prepare for week 2 of the season. Coach coming off a really impressive effort against Baker. All the more victories and all of that and aside, I think that it was a very promising first week. I'm sure you guys saw the film and were very pleased with what you saw. I'm sure there were things to work on, obviously. But let's recap last week, and then we can talk about Missouri Valley as we get ready for them in a couple days.
Well, it's like after the game, I told the kids that we were extremely proud of the way that they played. And we talk all the time about effort and energy, and if you have those two all the time, you're always going to give yourself a chance to win, even against the best teams in the country. And fortunately for us on Saturday, we played with effort and energy for the whole game, and we played in weather like we hadn't practiced in all week. It was extremely warm, and we had kids cramping and guys running in and out, and everybody that played their role and did a really good job. And moral victories, I don't know. I think we may sometimes seem like we were a little bit past that, but I think that what we got out of it was that we have a good football team. That if we continue to prepare like we did last week, I felt we were extremely prepared for the game, and if we continue to do that, we're going to give ourselves a chance to win a lot of games.
Yeah. Looking at their team, they bring back so many star players. I mean, overall, maybe they're a little less than obviously what they had last year to get to the title game, but overall, a really good passing attack, and yet, to me, didn't seem like they utilized the passing attack as much. Did that surprise you that they did run the ball as much? I mean, when they
I think looking back on it, I think what happened was our pass rush really affected the way they called plays, and our guys up front dominated the line of scrimmage, and so I think what happened was we pushed them into trying to run the ball to slow the pass rush down. Right. And when we stopped the run and we were able to rush the passer, we really put them in a bind. And they hit a couple big plays on us. Obviously, the one at the game or the one into the game is the one that everybody remembers. But for the most part, our kids dominated up front. We played great in the secondary, and it was just one of those things where I think that we forced them to do some things that they really didn't want to do.
Definitely. Again, coming back from the deficit, it wasn't a huge deficit. You guys probably always felt like you were in the game. But then, having that wild fourth quarter going back and forth, a lot of things can be learned from a situation like that where, you are trailing, you never give up, and you put yourself in a position, they knock you down, you knock them down, it just keeps coming back. Talk about that for just a second.
Well, I think that's a sign of a championship team. And, and the other thing that we told our guys on Saturday, at no point in the game did any of the coaches look at our players and they have the look like, oh man, we're in trouble here. Not one time. They never got wide-eyed. They were never surprised by the moment. They stayed play by play, and it was so refreshing to see our guys in tough times and in good times really were in the moment. And we talk about that, and sometimes that's hard to do. You make a big play, you can get excited, but then you have to come back down and get ready to play the next one. And I thought, especially on special teams, because special teams, there are so many role players on special teams that sometimes you may get a young man that's disappointed that he's not playing on offense or defense and won't give everything he has on special teams. And that was the exact opposite on Saturday. I thought we were fantastic in special teams. Obviously we blocked a punt and had a nice fake on a punt and some things like that. But the fact that those kids were giving great effort really told the tale of our whole team and the effort that they gave on Saturday.
Right. One final thing on that, since you brought it up, the special team side of things, yes. I mean, Luke Masters with the block punt and taking it back, but then the bigger play, and wanted to bring this up, you have Tyler Wood as a backup quarterback and as a punter. Really leaves you with a great opportunity there, and in a situation that you could at any time. You've got a 4-down situation really with a quarterback that can hit somebody 30 yards down the field or whatever. So a very good situation there, and you got to feel confident if you're in the middle of the field. They always have to. You're keeping them honest at any time.
Well, I think what it does for us more than anything is it keeps them from just rushing the punt all the time. And so, if we want to punt the ball, we have the ability to punt the ball, and hopefully by showing a fake and running a couple fakes and having the threat to always run a fake, will hopefully slow their punt return teams down a little bit and give us a better opportunity to get the ball off and get good coverage. So
exactly.
Having him back there sure does help.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, switching gears here, talking about Missouri Valley. They're coming off of a disappointing, at looking more at the stats, the score I don't think exactly shows the effort that they probably put in against Benedictine, losing 42-17. But it's a team that preseason, number 12, coming off a strong year going to the playoffs last year. What are you seeing in the Vikings?
Well, they're extremely athletic, and that's one thing that Coach Troth and his staff do a great job of.
Right.
They put athletes all over the field. They're a little bit young, and I know that we kind of went through some of that last year. They're young up front on offense, and maybe trying to find their way a little bit. We've been there, done that.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Their quarterback is, for lack of a better way to put it, very Johnny Manziel-like. He likes to try and create and run around and make plays, and he'll make a mistake, but he'll make two big plays to make up for it. And so we'll need to make sure we do a good job of containing him. They have a really good number one receiver, and so we'll need to do a good job of pressuring the quarterback again. But he's a little different in the fact that not only can we pressure him, now we have to contain him.
Right.
And so defensively again, athletic is a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
They're big up front, and they're athletic in the secondary. They run around pretty well. Last year offensively they shut us out. We scored a defensive touchdown last year as our only points, and so we kind of went back to the drawing board a little bit and had to reevaluate what we did against them and try and do some things to mix it up a little bit, and hopefully we found that combination, and hopefully we'll be able to score a few points.
Right. Well, and obviously, again, you're talking a year ago when you had a very young team week one against Missouri Valley, so this is a much different squad that is coming off an impressive, maybe not a lot of yards, but a lot of different ways that we found ways to put points on the board against, arguably the best team in all of the heart in Baker. So you got to feel confident that, again, you learned something from last week, plus you did a lot of good things too. As far as the game plan and what you hope to how to succeed against them, just looking at all of the options and option offense, obviously they're options, but now you have a new one in Brandon Polito, an additional, and not to key up on anybody, but so many different guys, and then all of a sudden you've got another individual in that backfield that can make plays for you. Just talk about, I guess, the entire offensive, I guess your key players and how great it is to have so many options.
I think more than anything, especially early in the season, to have so many players that can make a play really does wonders for us because we keep everybody fresh.
Yeah.
With the way we do things, early in the season, toward the end of the third quarter and then the fourth quarter, and we saw it again this week or last week. We start to wear teams down, and when we can start and we continue to run fresh bodies out there, in the end is where we really start to see the effect of that. Right. So, the fact that Brandon stepped up big for us the other day, and we thought Eric played a pretty good game. We didn't play great up front, but they weren't like we were just busting assignments. Yeah. They had a little bit to do with that.
They were forcing the issue.
So it's one of those things that we feel good about where we're at. We did make a few tweaks in some personnel. We just moved a few kids around to try and get them in a better spot. Right. And so I really think you'll see a different offense this week. I think we'll play better. I think now that we've got some guys moved around a little bit that we'll be able to do a couple extra things, and we're excited about going down and playing again on Saturday.
Definitely. And positive, you guys play at 6 o'clock, so even though it's supposed to be warm this weekend, you do get to play under the lights, so it's going to be a lot cooler. So anyhow, best of luck this weekend as you're taking on Missouri Valley. Again, if you're not in Marshall, Missouri, 6 o'clock start down there, but otherwise catch it on statesmanathletics.com. There'll be all the links that we'll have there. But best of luck, Coach, and
thank you.
Get that win and get the
Go
Vikings.
Get number one.
Yeah, and just keep on rolling.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Ray.
Great, thanks.